Something terrible is happening at Sika. In 1982, an experiment is conducted in el Centro de Investigación Ciencia Eterna, an experiment with a very simple goal: to create portals to travel through space and potentially even time. It was a lofty goal, but they succeeded. Using an antique mirror, they were able to create a portal to an alternate dimension, but when they peered through, there was something blocking the way. What follows is a long chain of negligence, cover-ups, human experiments, cult activity, and a complete disregard for human life. All in the name of science. The story is scattered, broken, and at times incomprehensible, but we can't let it stay buried. For the sake of all the lives destroyed and lost by this company's death march, and there's only one man who has what it takes to put it all together. So, I've been a pretty negative Nancy over the past couple videos. Like, I've just really been spreading my cheeks and taking a huge shit on things I find to be mildly upsetting. So I want to break that streak. I want to go back to the good old days and watch something I like from a creator I respect and admire while continuing to make jokes at their expense. And that brings us to this series I meant to cover a long ass time ago. Dexter the Dog by the creator EXPGoat, who you may remember from my analog horror fairy tales video, but more importantly, from one of my favorite horror shorts of all time, La Chica Flor, the Flower Girl. There's a variety of shorts and styles that EXPGoat taps into, from very coquette storybook-inspired fairy tales with a terrifying twist, to absolutely unhinged and abstract perversions of religious imagery, and even stuff like this. So yeah, this creator wears a lot of hats, but the style of theirs that I enjoy the most is this sort of mockumentary found footage type videos. The voice acting, the imagery, the editing, and the writing just all come together to create an atmosphere that I've rarely seen captured in this 2D format. And for series like La Chica Flor in particular, it's so unfortunate because it gets less attention than a League player's deodorant stick. And listen, I know that the main barrier to entry for these videos is that they're entirely in Spanish, but if I could do anything with this, it'd be encourage you to check it out and give it the love it deserves. It has auto-generated captions and everything, so you can just set to English and that'll get you most of the way there. Also, thank you to my friend Eden for helping me translate the harder to understand section of this video. Do you have anything to say, Eden? Well said, King. Now let's get into the video. Throughout the time humans have been on planet Earth, we have found beauty in nature, in the sky, the ocean, the fauna, but there's something that has always captured our attention: flowers. For years, plants and flowers have been used for healing remedies, and now the scientists of Sika have created a new one, Siltanvo. This flower has a great ability to heal a physically wounded body, all thanks to cells harvested from another plant, carnivorous Lao cells. Test. Patient condition, critical 4th degree burns, has been approved for Siltanvo test. The body is bandaged with aluminum plates to reduce the pain, but she hardly reacts. In this case, a gel is used to heal the burned skin.
Todo lo que sé es nombre de la ciencia. ¿Hay otro camino? Comienza la prueba ahora.
Science. Oh, no. Oh my god.
He estado pasando por los pasillos y me encontré con esto. Es un tipo de informe de un experimento. De una mujer transformada en una flor. Creo que hacían experimentos grotescos aquí. Y me da miedo pensar que esta cosa está aquí conmigo.
Yeah, I would be freaked out just knowing that Not even just being in the same building as this thing, but just knowing that this exists in general. I would be freaked out to live on the same planet as this thing, let alone the same building. So you are very right to feel fear.
Siento que si no
Oh,
me
that's
cuido
not good.
bien y doy un paso en falso, alguien me va a descubrir y no será bueno.
For a second, I thought he was about to say, like, man, I feel like if I make one single misstep at this company, then I'll be the one they put on the operating table and turning into, like, a mutant cyborg, Gumby doll. Like, it really just seems like if you fall out of line at this company, they'll just, like, fucking combine you with anything. They'll splice you at the genetic level just for any mild misstep out of line. You clock in 5 minutes late? Sorry. You're getting combined with my cat.
Algo pasó aquí. Algo definitivamente pasó aquí.
Oh, you don't say. You don't say. Something has definitely happened here. I frankly couldn't tell based on the clean state of these documents.
¿Quieres ver tu nuevo rostro?
My new face.
Eres perfecta.
I'm perfect?
¿Usted cree que soy perfecta?
You think I'm beautiful? Oh my god. Wow.
Aún con estas quemaduras.
Yeah, you know, a couple burns never detract from anyone's face. Just look at Zuko. I hate this shit. By which I mean I love this shit, but I hate how it shivers my timbers. Spooky ass scientists using an experiment that is meant for the betterment of humanity as an excuse to execute their sick fetish on a poor, helpless woman. Also, the absolutely insane editing when her transformation begins. It reminds me a lot of the entry plug scenes from Evangelion. We find out from these documents here that the patient seems to have responded well to the gel treatment, but 3 days later began sprouting petals from her scalp, which is unexpected, but clearly not a problem for whatever creepy degenerate is in charge. I just know working HR in this company's gotta be a nightmare. Hey, Doc. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, so I'm just here to see how things are going with the experiments. Oh, yeah. The cat girls are progressing along nicely. Okay, that's good. Did you say cat girl? No. You were supposed to figure out how to poop without peeing. Why did you turn your subject into a cat girl? Hey, you said cat girl's plural. We only sent you one test subject. How'd you make more than one? Well, we have been having a lot of late punch-ins recently. Oh my god, why did you need so many? Yeah, it would probably be something like that.
Esta sesión va a ser un poco diferente,
Can we, like, turn a light on?
ya que será una sesión a oscuras. Citanabó me
Why is
comentó
it-
que la luz le dañaba demasiado, así que opté por hacer
Oh,
esto.
okay. The light was
Sin
damaging it.
más preámbulo,
What a great
comenzaré
plant.
a hacer la sesión.
The light damages it, of all things.
El tambor. ¿Cómo te sientes?
How you feeling? Oh man, you know, I'm feeling fucking great right now.
¿Estás ahí?
Hey, leave me alone, I'm trying to fucking sleep.
¿Qué me hicieron? ¿En qué me convirtieron?
What the... Oh! I was gonna... Oh! I don't like those noises. Experiment 0001 has been observed full-time inside the testing chamber. She's become isolated and hostile towards the members of the Sika team. She hasn't stopped asking for a mask to cover her face. Due to the endless screaming, the team has given her a doll mask. 01 seems to have calmed after this. Oh, well, that's no good. Evacuation warning. All Sika personnel are ordered to evacuate the facility due to carbon monoxide leaks. Oh god, she's hitting them with the galaxy gas. Oh god, they're all gonna be feeding in about 5 minutes. We need to evacuate the building now. We're all gonna start tweaking. 01 escaped from the safe zone, apparently being able to create a mold-like substance to melt through solid material.
Zika, estoy entrando al área. No se detecta ningún tipo de movimiento.
Alright.
El cuarto está lleno de una especie de humedad y el alimento sigue intacto. Seguimos sin poder detectar a 0001.
Oh well. I think they found her. No members of the Sika team survived. Oh! Oh fuck, that got me. God damn it.
After the test, the patient was treated with healing sultambo gel, but her DNA was gradually modified, creating a new version of herself. The body was healed quickly, but at the same time grew petals around its head. These serve as a warning mechanism, as they send signals to the nervous system to be alert of any danger.
Al parecer, todos huyeron de este lugar.
Okay, so that's what she looks like without her lovely mask.
Lo más probable es que fue por esta cosa.
Why are you still
Tal vez
here?
escapó de su
Who are you
celda,
making this video for?
no
Your
sé qué
Nana?
pudo haber pasado.
Sé que estás ahí.
Oh boy.
No te escondas.
I'm not hiding. You're hiding. Bitch.
He estado escondido. No hay luz.
Shut the fuck up. Why, that's not hiding if you're just talking to your camera.
Trataré de encenderla.
Stop filming your fucking vlog and get out of here. Oh god.
Él es un demonio. Que todo sea en nombre de la ciencia.
Everything's in the name of science.
Supo cómo engañarme. Supo colocarme en el momento exacto.
Wait, so did they cause her burns?
Quiso hacer de mí su obra de arte. Y ahora estoy aquí, sola, abandonada. Aún no logras entender nada, ¿cierto? Lo bueno es que de vez en cuando se preocupa de la visita.
What the fuck? Oh man, it's busting out here. I'm not saying the stomach, lady. You can't bore me. Unless I'm misinterpreting this. There's always a certain catharsis that comes with these kinds of endings in horror media. It's obviously horrific to imagine yourself in the shoes of the scientist, but you also feel a sense of satisfaction for the monster finally being able to get its revenge. So yeah, we see 01 escaping the test chamber and going on a rampage, killing every able-bodied patron of the Seeker spittoon, finally ending off with voring our cameraman scientist, giving us a sick digestion stream. Maybe that could be the next Twitch meta. Colonoscopy cam. Anyways, 01 speaks to us from the outside. It seems like whatever accident that got her put in the situation, she believes was manipulated by the heads at Seeker, and she was ultimately used as a sick fulfillment of desire to create something beautiful. And beautiful is right, because this episode is just that. It is truly like I'm watching Bro achieve the Avatar state and perfectly bending all the elements to a good horror short. I was already familiar with Dexter the Dog, but this video was my first true exposure to EXPGoat's content, and what a first impression it made. So there's no exaggeration when I say that I've been frothing at the mouth waiting for the next episode of Dexter the Dog. And now it's out, and I'm finally able to cover it. Huh? Yeah. Oh dear. So as per usual, your boy is tardy to the party and has no idea what's going on or who shit my pants. So enough stalling, let's get into the damn video already.
Portales entre espejos. Este proyecto tiene como finalidad viajar entre realidades alternas e incluso poder viajar al pasado y al futuro. Esto traerá grandes avances para la ciencia. Experimento número 0002. Sujeto Dexter. Características: cuerpo antropomorfo. Características de un can alto, delgado, blanco. Motivo: impide el paso a través del portal. Analiza sus comportamientos y saber más de él.
I like how easily they seemingly give up on going through the portal. Like, you create a wormhole to a literal whole other dimension, a feat that should absolutely change the way we interact with reality. But then you stop short because there's just some guy standing in the way? I'm like, what, are we just respecting bouncer rules? Yeah, man, I tried going into the alternate dimension, but there was a guy standing there. He has to see my Glorpus card. So the head researcher here, Valentin Gonzalez, begins with giving us some background on the creature found within the mirror. It just stands there and watches them. It's a little unnerving, but they've since gotten used to it. They decided to call it Dexter. No scientific name, just Dexter. Despite his mysterious nature, he does seem capable of communication. So in an effort to understand him better, they conduct an interview.
Hola, Dexter. El día de hoy te haré unas preguntas, ¿sí?
For some unknown reason, the audio cuts out.
¿Cómo te encuentras el día de hoy? ¿Eh? ¿Por qué?
Okay, to be fair, if I was just chilling on a Sunday afternoon and then suddenly a wormhole tore open in my house with a bunch of men in lab coats speaking Spanish at me, I would probably be at least a little stunned.
Está bien, no te preocupes. Trataré de ser lo más rápido con esto. ¿Sientes la necesidad de comer?
Yes, I'm hungry right now.
¿Te gustarían unas croquetas? Lo siento, fue una broma tonta. ¿Sabes lo que es una broma?
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I know what a croquette is. Huh. I don't get the joke. Oh, come on, man, the joke wasn't that bad.
Bueno, es un juego entre amigos y...
I'm your friend.
Claro que lo eres. Eres mi amigo. Dexter, ¿sientes emociones?
Yes, I have become hungry.
No. Emociones como tristeza, alegría, cosas de ese tipo. ¿Sientes dolor?
Yes, that feeling is different. I would like to feel it again.
¿Cómo?
So yeah, after a couple more questions, Dexter's answers grow increasingly sinister until he finally crashes out and escapes the mirror world. A final line of Morse code reading,
Sika, we need your help. Experiment 02 has escaped.
A pretty straightforward video, not really much to analyze story-wise, but I will say the design of Dexter here is really effective for me. His creepy beetle eyes, his drooping snout, and the way his hands come in from such unnatural angles, it just all works really well for me. And we'll continue to see that design evolve and change over the course of the series. God, the way he creeps around in the shadows is so eerie. The entry at the beginning of this video tells us that the Portal Through Mirrors project has been cancelled due to technical failures, but it's the last couple lines that are really interesting to me.
El portal del espejo fue cerrado, dejando la criatura 0002 dentro del mismo. 02 nunca escapó, ni es hostil. Eso se creó como un rumor para obtener la cancelación del proyecto. El laboratorio Sika que fue asignado para esta operación será cerrado temporalmente por fallas en el sistema. Pedimos total discreción.
But yeah, here we're beginning to see the first of Sika's many embellishments of the facts.
What, bro? You're telling me a government agency is embellishing the facts and not taking accountability? I've never seen that happen before, bro. What will they think of next?
The Portals Through Mirrors project has been cancelled, and officially, Dexter was left trapped inside the portal. Unofficially, though, Dexter is going on a mad rampage through the facility, killing and eating everything in sight. An event that I'm sure has never come to pass within the walls of Sika before.
Puedo oír sus pasos. Ya. ¿En qué me metí? Creo que lo mejor será moverme y encontrar un lugar seguro.
Yeah, man. I really hope I don't run into this rampaging interdimensional creature that can smell and hear me from great distances, he says while vlogging himself with a Sony. Alright, chat. If we reach our sub goal, I'll reveal the color of my pancreas.
Es más increíble no ver a otra persona aquí. Acabo con todo.
Jesus Christ, he's massive! The way the mirror was filmed in the previous video, I assumed it was maybe like the height of a mirror you'd find at Gram's house. But these bastards got a mirror that's almost the size of your mom.
¿Qué?
El proyecto Portales entre Espejos es un éxito. Se logró introducir a un ser humano dentro de la dimensión del espejo. Aún hay fallas. El sujeto no puede identificar cuando está dentro de la dimensión. La criatura 0002 parece no ser hostil. La dimensión del espejo desponizado en un 95%. Puede que sea una réplica de este mismo espacio. Seguiremos dando seguimiento y se analizará cada aspecto mencionado. El avance de la ciencia es cada vez más grande.
This whole time, our cameraman, Valentin Gonzalez, has been on the other side of the portal. It's unknown when he would have been placed there, but clearly this was the real experiment. Him and his whole scientific crew were on the other side of the portal, but because of the anomalous nature of this alternate dimension, they seemingly lost track of which side they were on. Regardless though, Sika clearly still wants to hide the whole truth of the situation. Dexter's clearly hostile, and even though he may still be within the portal for now, that won't be the case for much longer. This time the video opens with two splash screens, the Sika logo we're familiar with, but then one for an organization called C, with an owl as its logo. Interesting. We then get a report about a complete non sequitur, this Lovecraftian nematode called Bond 32A. And I'm just gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I truly have no clue what relevance this guy has. No! I don't know why he's here. I don't know why he's in the back rooms. I don't know why they've duct taped into a wall. So anything I say about him will be pure speculation.
Hola Dexter. El día de hoy te haré unas preguntas, ¿sí?
Su presa intentó huir, pero su mandíbula fue más rápida. Puede olfatear a un cuerpo herido. Sabe perfectamente en dónde cortar. Cada muerto es necesaria. Cada muerto es en el nombre de la ciencia.
You see what I mean about the atmosphere in this video being second to none, right? Like, it's such simple presentation, yet he does so much with it. The overwhelming oppressive ambiance combined with those eerie text inserts just really gives you the sense that this thing is above our comprehension and that we've unleashed a force of true destruction and terror by opening this portal. I especially like the shot from Dexter's perspective, where we see that this portal truly has just opened in a dark void where Dexter was existing prior. It reminds me a lot of Golb from Adventure Time, just this force of pure chaos that can only exist in the dark vacuum of nothingness.
Pobre Valentín. Él no se merecía eso. El señor Dosna dice, no importa lo que veamos, todo es por la ciencia. No hay mucho que yo pueda hacer. Mandaron a mi amigo a ese portal con ese maldito perro. No hemos tenido ninguna señal de Valentín desde entonces. Cada noche me siento culpable. Sé que yo pude haber hecho algo.
So at this point, the Morse code message sent by Valentín at the end of the first episode seems to have been received, as evident by this person who seems to have been close with Valentín, feeling guilty for what happened. And now C are sending a team into the portal to recover whatever data or research he had collected, and to collect Valentín, regardless of the state he's in. His face had been torn off, his limbs ripped off, but strangest of all, his body seemed to almost be melting into the floor, merging with the alternate dimension itself. Dexter, however, is nowhere to be found. Based on the text, it seems it was at this point that Bond 32A was discovered and captured for research, which, for a 7-foot-tall eldritch Gumby monster, it seems like they really didn't have much trouble wrangling him up. Just duct tape his arms to the wall and that's it? Do you guys think he's into this? Wait, Bond 32A. Are we sure they didn't make a typo and mean to type in Boner 32A? Yeah, can we delete this video? Whatever this creature is though, something about moving him from the mirror world seems to have provoked Dexter. And now, he finally makes his move, breaking through the mirror and escaping from the portal, leaving behind the Sika facility.
Pobre inocente criatura. Es víctima de nuestros descubrimientos. Pero esto es el camino correcto. El camino de la ciencia. 0002 escapa de los laboratorios Sika. Las alarmas están silenciadas. La gente no puede saber el peligro que existe ahora mismo. Por el momento, no tenemos algún indicio sobre la ubicación del 02.
Something terrible is happening at the Laguna de Luna forest. Sometime before Dexter escaped from the Sika facility and made his home in the nearby forest, an incident took place in those same woods. At 9 a.m., the body of Julian Martinez was discovered. After investigation, it was determined that a wild animal was the cause of death, though, among some, a rumor would persist that Julian wasn't just murdered in some freak encounter with a wild animal, but that he was killed by cultists. Yeah, you know, that's honestly kind of a jump for me. You find a dead kid torn to shreds in the woods, I think 9 out of 10 people would agree that he probably just got slimed by a bear. Even if there were literal cultists in the woods summoning their demon king Goongalard, I would still say, yeah, that's probably unrelated. Regardless, the disappearances continued, as it did with Elizabeth, an 18-year-old girl who came across a door near where the incident took place. But what was she doing in the area? She opens her vlog with,
Bueno, estoy aquí.
which makes it sound like someone told her where to go. It's unclear whether she has any relation to Julian, but regardless, she goes through the door, ignoring her fear and apprehension. When she walks in, she's immediately hit with a foul smell that's almost too much to stand, but her curiosity is ever greater, and she stays to examine the room some more. There's a hole smashed into the wall in front of her, revealing a secret room with some kind of mural on the wall. An 8-armed goat. When she gets closer, though.
¿Ellos adoraban esto? No, en serio me quiero ir, pero estoy sintiendo una curiosidad enorme, como si algo me forzara a seguir viendo.
What the hell is happening here? This goat is clearly some type of entity similar to Dexter, but why is it here? There's no reports from Sika about discovering another creature, let alone that creature escaping. Did cultists really summon this thing into our world? And if so, what does that say about Dexter and Bond 32A? What about Bond 32A?
No enciendas la luz. Solo escúchame. Lo siento. Halloween de mi arte. Lo desplacé con mis propias manos y lo convertí en fluidos podridos. Perdóname. 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 Mi arte ni merece ser reemplazado. Mis manos necesitan crear. Para ti, tú eres algo hermoso, hecho por el mismo creador. Eres arte. Y yo lo he hecho todo a perder. Ya no hay tiempo. Ya no hay remedio. Perdóname.
Now you may be sitting in the back of the car asking yourself,
Anthony, what are we doing? I want to go back home with the funny white dog.
and to that I say, shut up! I'm taking the scenic route. To start with, I think we need to take a deeper look into one of the most enigmatic figures of this entire story, Bond 32A. Because looking at only the couple episodes of Dexter the Dog we have, yeah, it makes no fucking sense. I have no clue what he's doing here. They might as well have brought in my Tío Jaime. He'd have about the same exact narrative presence. But then, another series was posted to EXPGoat's channel, one whose connection to Dexter went under the radar, and this won't be the last one, believe me. And can I just say, I don't know why the fuck I'm sticking my finger up. Also don't know why I'm pointing that out when you can't see me, that's embarrassing. Can I just say, actually diving through this man's entire channel to find out what was related to the narrative and what wasn't, was an experience I would not wish upon my worst Tío Jaime. It's not like it was a slog, because it wasn't. But just every time I thought I had my theories on the series fully formed, I would then just click on a random video that looked like there was no relation, and then that stupid fucking logo would pop up, and then I'd have to go back to the drawing board. Like seriously, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if fucking gingerbread analog horror was related. But fuck it, man, I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles. So anyways, what the hell did I just jump scare you guys with? Well, this is a recent series of 3 videos posted by EXPGoat called Capra. And I'll be upfront, this series is very abstract. It is nothing like Dexter. There are no concrete dates, events, even really a cohesive narrative. So my frontal lobe is going to be working overdrive with this one. I'm mainly going to be focusing on the latter 2 episodes, which may not be clear now, but I think may offer us a look into the origin of Bond 32A. So in this first video, there's a red entity talking to us, barely visible in the darkness. From the dialogue, it seems to be expressing remorse, constantly asking us for forgiveness. But forgiveness for what? And who is it talking to? I do have a theory for this, but we'll need to move forward for that to make any sense. Now this is making me feel at home. I feel like I'm logging into my dad's PC in 2006 to watch... Never mind. Hi. He looks very happy to see me. Where do you think you'd go to download these organ squelching sounds? 'Cause I'd really like to know. For personal use, of course. Yeah, I guess he's just gonna stand there. Menacingly. So you're out like... Oh! Oh! Absolute cinema! Apologies, Scott, but I was not familiar with your game. Yeah? Well... I'm going fucking crazy on the automaton right now. If you pasted the head on this would literally just be the boiled one. Real. I saw it said real. Mutated D corpse. Day 12. Well, I'd like to see days 1 through 11.
The yellow rooms drove me insane. They whispered, they pulsed, they breathed when I tried to sleep. But that's not where I am now. Now I'm here, beneath the floor, and it's warm. It shouldn't be warm.
Oh my god, the back rooms are not looking too good. Are we actually just at my Theo Hyman's house? Oh, and he's got the tunes playing. Man, crank the shit up. Oh. Hey, you were supposed to clock out hours ago. Who said you could keep scrubbing the floor? God, people these days, it's so hard to find good help. You have a lovely voice, though. Maybe I had you all wrong. Ah! Oh, there's Morse code there.
If it smells sweet, it's already behind you.
Malmeyer.
That thing is what crawls through these halls. It doesn't walk, it doesn't run, it crawls. Like every bone in its body is broken, yet still wants to reach you. It makes a sound I can't even describe, like a human trying to vomit their own tongue while moaning. That sound causes nausea. Sometimes I bleed from my nose. I found this device in the yellow room. It wasn't there before. It just appeared. It transcribes my voice into text. It works fine. The camera also seems intact. No visible damage, but the videos I record, they won't upload. Some vanish, others get corrupted. Like the place itself is rejecting them. I've been looking for water. I crawl like it does. Like that thing. And I discover something. Water burns it. I spilled some by accident and it screamed. Not an animal scream. A human one. But twisted. Like a child trapped in an open throat. Alright, this guy's got some like crazy metaphors on him right now. And it's really making me suspicious of him. Like a human trying to vomit their own tongue while moaning. A child trapped in an open throat. Like, are we just looking through the POV of a serial killer who just so happened to end up in this horrific situation? If anyone finds this, don't listen when it calls you. No matter how familiar the voice sounds, it's not their voice. It never was, and it never will be.
Oh, is that more Morse code? So for the second time in this entire fucking channel, we have a reference to the back rooms. Coincidence? So we find out about this thing called the Molemeyer, which appears to be some kind of weird humanoid deer hybrid, coated in a thick black sludge. It drags itself on the ground and sings this awful, haunting tune. This portion of the video also starts off with a picture of a mutated deer, apparently on its 12th day of decomposition, and then it's never brought up again. So I'm gonna put my bachelor's degree to work and make an educated guess that this Molemeyer is the final stage of said deer's mutation. The transcript we get from our narrator is interesting too. He's simply describing his current predicament and the creature in front of him, but then at the very end, out of nowhere, he says,
I I don't want to see that red thing again.
What red thing? Yeah, what's good, my boy? Ego fichi mi. Sed nolo was malure. Fuck. Can't read Latin that fast. You got me fucked up, bro. I will say, this guy bears a oh, what the fuck? I was gonna say that guy bore a striking resemblance to,
Angels are dying.
Can you let me speak?
While others are celebrating.
What do you want me to do about that?
A red demon will take you to the party inside his organs.
Okay, it sounds pretty lit. Was that Dexter? Was that Dexter? Dog, I'm just asking a question. You don't gotta stare at me like that. You don't gotta give me the blue eye. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, that was definitely Dexter. And now we're back in the back rooms. Capra está aquí con nosotros. Arrodíllate. Oh, fucking hell. At least give me a second to... What the fuck? Here, finally, I think that we're potentially seeing the entity that would eventually become Bond 32A. We even see his bloodstain in the same section of backrooms where we first saw a picture of Bond. Side note, because I don't know where else to put this, but there's a Morse code in the description of this video, and then when you go to translate it, you just get a jumbled up mess of letters. Some of the comments did point this out, and it hasn't changed since, so it's clearly not a mistake. So I can only be left to assume that this is some kind of cipher, but for the life of me, I could not figure it out. So if you're any good at cracking ciphers or you have any ideas, please leave them in the comments below. I need help. So now that we're here, what does any of this even mean? Well, from what we can see, there is some kind of corrupting, mutating force that exists in this dimension. One that has a sickly sweet scent. We see it happen with the mutated deer, as well as this little devil guy. They're overcome by some kind of black mass. But this corruption must stem from somewhere, right? Damn, bro, that's crazy. If only there was some enigmatic figure that expressed guilt for ruining and corrupting what they considered to be works of art, but for some reason felt compelled to continue creating these monstrosities. I guess it'll remain a mystery. Yeah, so I think that this Capra is acting as some sort of creator figure, or at least that's what it wants to be. But for some reason, everything it creates turns to ruin, to the point where that sludge of corruption affects things that it didn't even create. And in the final episode, I think we see that Capra make a full turnaround and fully embrace that role, now referring to this corruption as a party, and filling the room with a crazed laughter. And the subtitles of this video now have some level of reverence for the Capra, almost acting as the god for this plane of existence. So this whole series was basically us witnessing in the background this creature go from a regretful, mournful artist who just wanted to be tucked away in shadow to becoming this deific figure, spreading his ruin throughout this plane and creating organisms veiled in darkness. So even if this little devil guy in particular isn't Bond 32A, I still think that Bond is one of the Capra's creations. But then that brings up the question, who was the Capra talking to in the beginning of the video? Well, based on the lack of relevant characters, as well as the flashing of a familiar white face in the final episode, I believe that Capra was talking with Dexter. I don't think Dexter himself is a creation of the Capra. There's simply no connection between how Dexter looks and behaves. But if we use this interpretation, then it seems like the Capra and Dexter come from the same creator. And for some reason, the Capra is fixated on making works of art for Dexter. Something beautiful, like Dexter. To me, this doesn't necessarily read as though Capra is doing this for Dexter's sake. More so, he's just using him as a sort of vessel for his own personal frustrations. It feels like he's doing it just to prove that he can make something as beautiful as Dexter. Prove that he has the same capacity for creation as his own creator. It's very Luciferian? It's Satan-like. It's a very Satan-like motivation that ties in really well with the imagery. And perhaps for this sin of pride, the Capra was cast out of heaven and into the fucking backrooms. Yeah, not gonna lie, the reason for using the backrooms is something I truly can't explain other than it being a fun little Easter egg. But yeah, with just this little bit of context and me reaching just a little bit, the setting takes on a very biblical / mythological quality, which would go to explain why we saw a group of satanic cultists being able to summon one of these entities without needing to destroy a billion-dollar scientific facility. Now, I'll be the first to say right now, I am not a Bible scholar. No! The most I know about Christianity is that Jesus was a chill guy and he loved feet. Just kidding! I went to church every Sunday when I was a kid, so I pretty much know the broad strokes. Much like Jesus knew all the ways to broadly stroke some feet. Yeah! Point is, I'm versed, but I'm also a colossal dumbass, so there may be even more connections that I'm missing. But I think for now, we have enough context to move on to the final episode of Dexter the Dog at the time of writing the script. What? Dexter escaped? No! How could this happen? What the? Valentin Gonzalez? The fuck happened to you? Got turned into goo.
Con un aplauso a la mexicana.
Go Francisco! Yes! I know all my fucking cabrones in the comments are going wild right now. And Yuri. Shit, bro. This is already a top 10 video. This is already a certified hood classic.
CICA, Centro de Investigación Científica Alterna.
Oh, they have a nice little narrator now. We then get an official public announcement from CICA, informing several nearby sectors that they're going to be under heavy surveillance and that everyone needs to stay indoors and report any unusual activities or symbols.
El incumplimiento del toque de queda será considerado como cooperación con grupos hostiles y sancionado conforme al protocolo 1982. Se recomienda desconectar radios de onda corta en la cortina sin mantener la calma.
Give me a wet willy.
Cualquier sonido extraño no...
CICA, Centro de Investigación Científica Alterna.
Seems like a lot of... So first of all, the Center for Alternative Science Research is sending out a public warning telling people to not go outside. Already something that I would take with a heavy grain of salt, because again, it really just sounds like fucking Alex Jones and Joe Rogan did a fusion dance and formed a government agency in order to just tell the public that the water's gonna like take away their creatine or something, I don't know. But then, the only thing that they actively, like, specifically warn us about is Satanists. Why is that a national emergency? Satanists are everywhere. Just walk the other direction. We then hear a call between a CICA employee and what I can only assume to be the head of operations, Señor Dozna, who has a very familiar voice.
¿Cómo que escalado? ¿No estaba bajo vigilancia triple?
Todo lo que sé es nombre de la ciencia. ¿Hay otro camino?
The employee informs of Dexter's escape, and Dozna has a very reasonable response.
¿No estaba bajo vigilancia triple?
Sí, señor, pero el personal de visual perdió la imagen a las 20:22 y cuando la recuperaron 0002 ya no estaba en su celda. La compuerta de emergencia apareció forzada desde dentro.
That is the exasperation of a man who has just had his entire scientific research institute destroyed 17 too many times. Dozna then gives the order to send out the public alert we just heard, specifically telling them to pin the blame on Satanists or whatever's most convenient. But then, most interestingly, when the employee asks if they should inform the other committee members, Dozna tells them no, to just keep everything hush-hush. So while Dozna may be working under organizations like CICA and C, and they may share mutual interests, Dozna still clearly has his own goals, and he maybe doesn't want this committee of higher-ups interfering. Alright, Charlie team, let's get this done. I got a HelloFresh box waiting for me back home.
Hola, soy Gabriel. Ay,
What's up, Gabriel?
queden varias zonas de por aquí. dicen que los satánicos siguen sueltos. Si es que algo de eso existe, chance y pueda grabar algo fenomenal. Al parecer es la misma banda que mató a ese chico Julián. Cuenta
Hey,
que una
Julián.
cabra
I know that
maldita se
guy.
lo comió como parte de una iniciación o un
A cursed goat ate him as a part of an initiation.
este bosque. Y la verdad, me
Interesting.
mata la curiosidad y quiero encontrarme con algo.
You're dying of curiosity to figure out.
Tengo un poco de miedo.
You just talked about how a kid got fucking mauled to death by a goat for a satanic ritual, but you're just dying of curiosity to see it yourself. This guy wants to die.
Sinceramente, lo que sí me da cosa es toparme con ese tipo de gente. Con ellos. Pero
What really bothers me is running into those kind of people. Then just don't go in the woods! Stay home! Play Mario Kart. Jesus.
todo está tan callado que me produce un poco de incomodidad.
I mean, it's the woods. You would hope it'd be quiet.
Alguien venga a asesinarme.
Yeah, there's a tire swing there, so maybe the goat's just like having... Maybe the goat's just like playing around a little.
¿Cómo habrá llegado esto?
A sock! It can't be!
Si acaso...
Hello? Oh my god, there he is. You good, dog? Okay, yep, just keep it. Why are you running towards him? Oh! Ah! Fuck! My ears. I do like the noise that Dexter makes. It's very, alien in that way.
Event update. At 10:02 p.m., classified subject 0002 is located on the northeast perimeter of the Laguna de Luna forest by members of the Charlie Rural team. At the time of discovery, the subject was in a state of extreme excitement, with visible traces of blood on his extremities and face. The partially devoured corpse of a male individual, preliminarily identified as Gabriel, last name being verified, approximately 18 years old, was found left directly next to the experiment, as if it were some kind of offering or immediate discard. The scene has been secured under biological containment protocol. The body will be transferred to internal facilities for complete forensic analysis.
We then hear that Dexter's been transferred to C, in the advanced study sector, where he's being kept sedated, and only level 6 and higher authorities are allowed to speak with him. Bond 32A hasn't made any escape attempts, but occasionally has episodes of agitation and loss of consciousness. It's interesting that they make specific note of Bond here, but none of the other entities under Sika's supervision, such as Valentine. With Dexter now confined under neurological surveillance, Dozna makes his move and tries to communicate directly with Dexter. Yeah, how do you feel about that, Valentine? Yeah, I agree.
¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde lo tienen?
0002 ya ingresó a la sala de observación, señor. Lo están estabilizando y si quiere puede verlo desde el cristal.
Yeah, let me see that fucking son of a bitch.
No se mueve.
Se encuentra sedado. Las constantes son erráticas, pero estables dentro del margen. La contención se mantiene en nivel 5, señor.
Abre el intercomunicador.
¿Quiere hablarle? Aún no sabemos si puede entender o responder.
Abre el canal, Héctor.
I mean, I thought we already knew we could talk and understand us. That was like the whole first episode.
¿Qué cosa eres? ¿Estás escuchando? ¿No?
Can you just let him have
Sabes hablar.
fucking sleep?
Lo sabemos.
He's had a long day.
El equipo detectó patrones fonéticos en la anterior fase. Contéstame. No pareces humano. Pero tampoco pareces vacío. ¡Que me contestes!
Oh! Oh my god. Where's John Hinges? Yeah? Who the fuck is that? Oh. Oh, okay. Oh. After demanding to know what Dexter is and electrocuting him, we see brief flashes of Bond 32A, as well as this giggling woman. This really threw me off at first, but I think I know what might be happening here. Earlier this year, EXPGoat posted a teaser for a new short called Maggie's Odd Parade, featuring a giggling woman and a white dog with a familiar pointed snout. The short never actually saw the light of day, unfortunately, but we can clearly see that this woman is the owner or friend to this dog. So why is she flashing here now, along with Bond? Well, remember what I said earlier about Bond being a creation of the Capata's corruption? Well, what if this woman, Maggie, fell into the backrooms, Kane Pixel style, and wandered around until meeting Dexter? They would have either become friends and formed a strong bond until the corruption caught up with her, whether it be the Molemeyer or the Capata itself. She was corrupted and turned into this horrific creature, not even capable of speaking. Or alternatively, the Capata specifically chose to corrupt her and turn her into this thing as a companion for Dexter. Regardless of the circumstances, whenever C entered the alternate dimension and brought Maggie back with them, Dexter had no choice but to follow and break through the mirror portal in order to find his friend. If this is true, then it honestly makes me really feel for Dexter. All he wants is his friend back, and it recontextualizes all the destruction and chaos he's caused as just a dog lashing out. To the point where when a light from above shines down on him, he leaves a human body as an offering, willing to do anything to get his friend back, not knowing that she's locked up with him down the hall. But then that brings up the question of why? Why is Sika and Dozna going this far? Is it truly worth it? Is it truly all in the name of science? Well, there's actually one final series that I think will put it all into context and give us an answer on what their goals are. What happens after death? The first video is pretty short. We see a woman walking through a dark field towards this spindly entity that takes the form of a horse. As she gets close to it though, she begins to feel uneasy, and then it reveals its true self to her. The text at the end reading,
"That thing is watching me. I can feel the cold coming off of it. I need to wake up."
In the next video, we open on a written monologue.
"What happens after we leave this plane? Our human shells remain empty. Our souls are judged and sent where they belong. Or so we believe. Señor Dozna."
Elizabeth Horrinson es apta para la trasplantación de ondas cerebrales. Para el individuo es el 006.
They begin the electric shock procedure, and we see a sped up version of the first video with the spindly entity approaching Elizabeth. She's then transported to a white void with a red door in front of her. Upon going through, she's met with this lovely looking fella. It tells her,
"You're lost. Someone wants to take you over. You're in limbo."
Then see files going over Elizabeth and the subject as 006. It's some kind of creature made from the combination of a decomposing corpse and half the brain of a saddlebred horse. For some reason, this combination of materials causes the corpse to take on a ghastly appearance, with exposed organs and this animal-like face. It looks strangely familiar. Unfortunately though, this creature's only able to stay conscious for about 20 minutes, but regardless displays some level of intelligence, being able to solve simple puzzles and even having a carnivorous appetite. It seems like Sika is able to get around this 20-minute time limit by transferring the brain into a new corpse, and this time they chose the comatose body of Elizabeth. At the end of the video, we see a vision of her eating meat at a dinner table, with the white figure from earlier telling her to wake up. And then she opens her eyes. It's unclear whether this is something new and unexpected, or if this is simply the cycle starting over again, and she will eventually transform into another subject S006. But regardless, we now have our answer to Dozna, Sika, and C's goal. They want to know what happens after death, and how to manipulate that process and obtain everlasting life. This experiment takes place in 1997, over a full decade after the incident with Dexter. Perhaps in that time, their research progressed, and they discovered the true nature of Bond 32A and Dexter, and maybe even the Capata himself. But then, is that true nature?
Aberration of the world was Lord.
There's another series of videos posted to EXPGoat's channel called La Fractura. If I get into all the details of the series, we'll be here for another hour, so I'll just run through the basics. In this series, we're given a look into an alternate history where instead of Christ being born as the Son of God to forgive us of our sins, he was born as something much darker, corrupted, in order to condemn us all to damnation. So it's basically a world where all of Christianity is the Westboro Baptist Church. If you watch the series in full, you won't actually find any direct connections to C or Sika, but it's the last episode that kinda tipped me off. We see someone recording strange incidents outside their house, with an owl peering in through their window, only to later find that it wasn't an owl at all. Which is then followed by this haunting message.
The angels did not descend with trumpets and light, but with the weight of judgment on their wings. They were sent by the finger of God, that same finger that wrote doom on the stones of heaven. They bring no words, no compassion, for their presence is judgment. Where they perch, clocks stop, and names are erased. They were not created to sing, but to remind the earth who made it.
This all seems to imply that this creature is one of God's creations, specifically one of his angels. And by extension, we can assume that entities like the Capra and Dexter are also from the same creator. So if this owl creature is one of God's angels sent here to cast judgment, then isn't the logo for C incredibly interesting? It honestly reminds me of a story I've experienced before. Yep, that's right. Dexter the Dog is Evangelion. If you haven't seen Evangelion, then potential spoilers, but also you may not know what the fuck I'm talking about. But there are a ton of parallels if you go by this interpretation. The committee and higher-ups at Sika and C are very similar to Sele, who want to harness the power of angelic beings and create everlasting life for all of humanity through the process they call human instrumentality. And then Dozna is acting as Gendo Akari, someone who spearheads all of the operations of his higher-ups, and does share their ultimate goal, but is doing so for his own reasons. For Gendo, it was to reunite with his dead wife, so he schemes and tweaks with the plan in order to get what he wants, regardless of how it may deviate from Sele's final outcome. We don't know enough about Dozna to say for sure what his personal goals may be, but it does seem that his goals are only tangentially related to C and Sika's. Maybe he is truly just doing it for the love of the game. Maybe it is just all in the name of science.
Volver el tiempo atrás. Soy yo a quien hay que culpar. Sin su calor no puedo continuar. No se puede olvidar. El orgullo y el amor es lo que me desgarra el corazón.
Okay, final note. I'm aware that there are 2 new episodes of Dexter the Dog, but these seem to be acting as a soft reboot for the series, simply recreating events of the first episode. There's no real point in covering them now since they don't really confirm or disprove any of my theories, but just felt like mentioning that. I am also aware that there's another video related to this whole Sika C universe called Protocarne. There just really wasn't a good place to slot it in though, because it is so separate from everything that's happening here. I suppose it could be related to how Valentine is this pulsating flesh that is fused with the mirror dimension, but I really got nothing on it. Thank you all for watching my video. I really love this series. I know that I'm taking heavy creative liberty with my interpretation and I could be way off, but honestly I think that's what's so fun about it. The fact that the story is so fractured and abstract, it truly is like looking at a painting. Any number of people can interpret it any number of ways. It is definitely not something for the faint of heart though, and if EXPGoat is truly planning on rebooting Dexter, I hope that it's at least a little clearer what connections are real and what connections are a result of my schizophrenia. But yeah, please, I highly encourage you to watch the videos yourself. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description. Also, let me know in the comments if you agree with my theories, or if you have your own. Anyways, I gotta get going. I think human instrumentality is starting.